Okay, hello everyone. I'm Moses Obarisi. Welcome to this beginner video editing course. So, what is video editing? We're talking about video editing. We're talking about the concept of manipulating an already existing video clips, a collection of video clips, or video shots, or video footage, adding transitions, effects, text, and a lot of other items just to spice it up and produce a new single video for you for maybe for commercial purpose, for film purpose, for television, for advertisement, for news and the rest of them. So that's the sole end of video editing. You want to have a new video from already existing videos. However, the new videos you are intending to have, you want special effects and the rest of them to be included or to be added to it. So now the software we're going to be using for this course is what we know as Adobe Premiere Pro. So I have the version 2022 here loaded up on my system. So let's just take a brief overview into it, or the panel of this software. So here now we have let me just let me close this sequence. One moment, why I'm trying to load up this item. Okay, now it's loaded up now. So before you can see that everywhere is black now. So I'll walk you through the most important part that is very paramount for us as a beginner to this course. So we have here as far. So when you click on that, it brings you the first item it brings for you is new project, new production, new sequence, project shortcut, legacy title, Photoshop file, bars, code, and the rest of them. So these are kind of projects or the title that of projects that you are intending to work with. For instance, the first is project production, then sequence. Sequence is a particular video, the order of video being arranged one after the other. That's what sequence means. Then the next is project shortcut. That means, as usual, shortcut windows for everything on the Windows tab of a computer, or a shortcut to navigating easily to any file that you have. The next is legacy title. That's a special title. That's what it means. The next is Photoshop file. So let's assume that maybe you are doing an editing work and you have a picture that you're working on Photoshop. You want to export that picture into Adobe Premiere Pro without you exporting the picture. You don't want to copy the picture direct from Photoshop, maybe exporting it on Photoshop to be a finished picture, then you drag it over to Adobe Premiere Pro. You may not necessarily need to do that. What you will just do is to just click on this Photoshop file, and it takes you to the Photoshop software. Then from there you can easily manipulate and bring it directly to drop in Adobe Premiere Pro here. Then bars and tone, black video, color matte. Color matte entails it entails you kind of manipulating color or changing the color of a particular footage of particular text. That's just the term color matte means. Then transparent video, that's we want to do a video that does not have a background. That's what it means. Then the next is open project. Let's assume that you have a previous project that you've been working on and you want to continue, so you just click on open project, then the list of projects that you've been working on previously will pop out. Then open production, the same thing with open project. So open recent. So here now we have a few recent projects that I've been working on before now. We have University of Birmingham Global Master Scholarship that I was editing. We have Depths of Fitness Day that I was editing. Then I also have some few lower tests that I was customizing that I was working on in After Effects, and I exported them to Adobe Premiere Pro for me to complete each process. Then here means to close, that means shortcut button to close anything that you are doing, which is Control W. Then close project is Control Shift W. Then close all project means that everything that you're working on, maybe you have multiple projects that you're working on, you just want to close all of them once. Then the next is save, which is Control A, it's a shortcut. Means that you want to save the progress you've done so far on a particular project that you're working on. Then save as, yeah, you want to save this work afresh. Now there's a very slight difference between save and save as. Save is that the file already has a name on your computer, so you want to modify, you want to make it current to the, you want to save it current to the to the most recent sources that you have achieved in the project. Why save as? You want to create a fresh file. A fresh file, that's what you want to create. Then the next thing is save a copy. That means you want to duplicate the work that you are working on. Then save all, you want to save numerous of projects at the same time. Then capture, which is F5, then maybe you want to screenshot a particular section of the video that you're working on. That's what the word capture means. Then Adobe Dynamic Link, that means you want to move a project from Adobe After Effects, or you want to create projects on Adobe After Effects inside of Adobe Premiere Pro. So that's what that means. Then import, you want to bring in footage into this Adobe Premiere Pro. You want to bring in footage. So you saw, I just clicked it now. So this is what it brought up. But we're not going there yet. Okay. Then import recent file, that means recent file that you've been working on, you want to import it into Adobe Premiere Pro. Then export, you finished with the editing work that you're doing. What do you want to do now? You want to send it out as a one single video. So this export, it has a shortcut of Control M as your export button. Then it gives you the format and the settings in which you want to export the video as, either as 720, 1080, 4K quality, 360, and the rest of them. Then project settings, that means you want to manipulate the settings of the project that you're working on. Then exit, that means to exit the software is Control Q. Then let's move on to the next. Now we have edit, you have copy, you have cut. Now cut means to to remove a particular part for you to drop it, or for you to paste it in another area or in another section of the project that you're working on. Then cut and copy, the difference between cut and copy is that cut has to do with you removing that particular part. Then copy has to do with you are duplicating that part. That's what the difference between the two. So let's continue. So those are the few main items that are very necessary for for a beginner. Then we have a sequence, which is the project that you are currently working on the timeline. Okay, so let's start now. Let's just import a few clips or a few footage into this point. Now you can see over here it's telling me that to import media to start. Now there are two ways to start working on a project. The first you do is the first thing you do is to import, while the second thing is organization. But however, in order to make your work more easier for you to do, it is better you organize first before you import. Now, what do I mean by organize first? That means let's assume that you are editing a project and maybe it has 20 different video clips or 10 audio clips. Then you have a lower third to add to it. You have other special section that you've put together that you are now wanting to bring them together, and they are numerous, all of them not in the same or not in the same folder. You also have, remember, you also have a soundtrack or maybe a voiceover that you've already recorded. You want to make these things easy for you. So what you just do, you have to create what you have to create a folder first before bringing these items in. You create a folder first before you bring this item in. So how do you create a folder? You open here, you create a new bin. Maybe you call this video clips. Then you create another new bin. You create audio. Then you create a third one. Okay, let me just duplicate that. Let me duplicate that to make work easy. Duplicate, then I will edit video clips, then I'll rename that. Maybe I'll call it let me call it voice over. Okay, so let's assume that these are the three various kind of projects that we want to work on to make one particular video. Now, so what do we do? We click on, now we want to import. Now there are two ways to import projects for video editing. Now what do? You simply come over to the folder that you wish to copy that project from. You come to that folder. Okay, I think I have, okay, so I have this video here. So let me see if I have let me see if I have a recent smaller video. Okay, so I click on this, I click, hold and drag. Then I just drag it here to the video clips folder. Then I proceed again back into the folder that I just dragged those files from. and I select the next one. I click, hold, and drag to the video clips folder. Then I move to my audio. Then I open the folder again in which the audio is contained. So let me just import one or two audio file. Can't find my audio file anymore. I saw about two here just now. Okay, let me do it like this. Okay, I think this is it. So I click, hold, and drag. Then let me check if I could see another one. Okay, still have another. Okay, then I have this. So I have three audio file now. Then let me see. Then I think I don't have any voice over. But let me just bring any of those audio to serve as a voice over for what we're doing. So let this file just serve as a voice audio, voice over rather. Okay, so now our work have started. Now we've done organization and importing side by side. So let's now make work easy for ourselves now. So let's now bring it to the timeline to create a sequence for us. So this file is about 49 minutes. Okay, let me drag in the next. Okay, so now we have this now. So now we've imported our video clips now. Now, if you notice, there are two items here. Now, this is where your video file is contained. The first layer at the top, where you have your V1, is known as the first or video one or first video layer. Then A1 is audio one. So What this means is that remember that in a video, there's likely tendency that people talked or there was an interaction in the video. Maybe if it's music video, people also talked or there was a background song in that music video. So that is this layer at the bottom that you're seeing here. Now, in order to make it easy that maybe you want to remove the audio from it, what you just do is to come here, you unlink both of them, then based after that you can now select only the audio and you delete it. So with that, now what if I play this particular section that I remove the audio, now you won't hear anything, you only see the person's mouth moving. So let me press Ctrl Z to reverse that action. You can hear the man speaking now because I've reverted the action that I just did of removing the audio. So let's take it to the beginning. So you can also hear this audio. So you hear the him talking and you see him speaking and you also hear the audio in the background. Okay, so now let's unlink again. Let's delete this audio and let's play. Discover that you can't hear anything. So that's how this thing this thing works. That's how it works. Okay, so let's reverse the action again and bring it back. Okay so now let's do something here. Let's reduce the level of the volume. Let's reduce the level of the volume.
I'm thinking about joining the army. I didn't know what I was going to do, but she's telling me I'm going to.
Okay, so you can see that it's much higher than what it was before. Okay, so that's just for video, for audio level increase. So the next thing now, let's move to our next folder. So let's bring in the audio that we have. Okay, I'll mute the audio of the video clip so that we can listen to the. So you can hear the song, you can hear the song on the background. Okay, so now that we have that said, let's look at our. Let's move over to the. So you can hear that three items are now two different items are now playing. We have the voiceover, what the music that we use as a supposed voiceover, then the music that we added as the original audio that we added. Then if we now unmute the video clip now, it will now be three different items, three different audio playing on the background. Okay, if you look at that now, it doesn't make sense. The reason why it doesn't make sense is that the three are not in alignment, so hence it doesn't make sense. So let's unmute the last one, which is the supposed voice over. Then let's play. Okay, so let's reduce this volume. So you can see that it's better, it's kind of better compared to what we earlier did. Now that it was now looking like a noise. So now that we have that, let's add some text to it. Let's just add some text. So what you do, there are two ways of getting text. Either you come over here to this T here, which is the typing tool. Okay, before we go that, let me just do some few things before we add text. There's what we call trimming. That's called cutting and trimming. That means cutting and trimming means that you don't need some part of the video that you're working on. So there's a shortcut for it. The shortcut for it is C, which is this razor tool. Then I can just come here. Maybe I don't need this section. Then after pressing the C, then I press V again, which is the selection tool. Then I delete that particular part from it. Then after delete that particular part, I click on this portion showing white. Then I press delete again. So the part I just clicked on now, it has what? It has you know it has been deleted. So if I click on this part again, I press C to trim that part into two, to cut that part into two, then I press C and I press V. Then it deletes the entirety of that particular section from it. So let me press V now to remove this second clip. I press V to remove the second clip. Then I press V. Then I use delete. So you can see that we are now left with only the first clip. I trimmed the two subsequent clips. I trimmed them into sections. Then I what I did cut them. Okay, so now let me split the the main clip we now have now. Let me now split it into three different parts to explain a particular concept. So let me make it bold so it can easily be seen. So the next thing that we've sliced and trimmed. So next thing now is what we'll be adding transitions. After transition, then we'll add text to it. So the reason why we want to add transitions is because we want to make it a little bit fluidy. We want to make moving between one clip to the other. We want to make it look nice. We don't just want to make it to look stiff. So we add a transition. Then we'll come over to these effects. Then we'll go to video transitions. There are several kind of effects that you can add here. There's what we call immersive video. So we're using the gradient, VRO gradient wipe now. So we've applied it. So let's see. Sorry, I think that wasn't successful. Okay, so okay. So I've applied that. So the transition is this parallel transition is not as obvious as we wanted it. So what I will do now, I will extend it a little to make it pronounced. Or I'll change it rather. I'll change it. Let me change it to a different one. Okay, okay. Okay, so I've changed the transition now to a different one. So you can see that it looks as if the one video is peeling from the surface, then another one is replacing it at the bottom. So that's what we call transition. Then the next, let's change the transition to a different one. Let's change it to slide. Okay. So let's see how that plays out. Okay, so you see how that looks now. Looks interesting, and it looks there's a little bit aestheticity or beauty in it compared to it just moving or like that. So there are a bunch of transitions over here that you can actually choose to use from or choose to select from. Okay, so let me just apply this barn doors. Okay, this one is not fluid enough. No, this one is still not fluid enough. Still not fluid enough. So we just will stick. I don't know what's wrong with my these particular ones. I don't know why they are not. They aren't responding. Okay, okay, okay. Can see this cross zoom now. You can see how interesting it is. It zooms out the image, then it zooms out the one that is rolling away, then it zooms in the one that is what that is coming, that is following or the succeeding one. So you can see that's very interesting one. So the next thing now is let's just add a few text to this project that we're working on. So we'll go over to the text tool, which you can just easily access by pressing T on your keyboard. Then we'll come here, any portion that or any part that we intend to put the text. So let's just say, let's type the name of our channel, learn video editing. So after doing that, I press the selection button. Then I come over to the effect control. Then everything I'm doing, I will see it. So now I want to change the color of the text. I want to change it to something between green and lemon, or sea green rather. So I want to change the stroke color of the text. I want to change it to red, or probably change it to black. Then I'll also change the background of that text. I'll change the background to black. Okay, then I'll reduce the size of the text. So I'm using it to cover the previous one that I've already done. Okay, so this now we now have this as our text now. So let me make it a little bit more interesting. I change this to bold. Then I reduce the size again, maybe around 32 pixel, okay, or 30 even. Okay, so that's fine there. So let's add more beauty to it. So let's say you don't just want this text to just stand there like um, like an image. You want to make it fluid also. So you come over to still on your effects and effects control. You come down a little and you click on this stopwatch icon, the under position. You click on stopwatch. Then you want to move between the point of starting of this text to the point of ending, which is what we call referred to as position. That's where it will be at its starting and where it will be at its ending. So I'll put it there, then I come over here, then I change the position of the text. So now I've worked on the position. So you can see that. So you see how it now looks. Then let's assume that we also want it to fade out. Want it to fade in and fade out. Then we'll come over again to the end of this graphic or the text. Then we'll move the position again. We'll move it to the right, which means that the text should come in through the left and leave through the right. So we'll have something like this. Okay, so you can see that's for the text now. So let's say assume that we want to add some. Let's assume that we wanted to add some colors to the video that we are working on. Maybe we're not satisfied with the color. What we'll do is we'll come here, we'll go over to effect again. Let me close this. We'll click on color correction. That's the basic. Color correction is usually the basics for improving the color or the graphics of every video you're working with. Then you come to the metro presets. Then you select cinematic space. Then you apply on your project. So you can see that the color now has changed. It now has a lot of shadow. So let me bring another one in. Okay, so those two are not too okay. So let me look for another one. Let me use this Fuji. Okay, this one I added some kind of light or some kind of brightness to the video. So let's undo that. Let's move to the speed locks or speed loops rather. Okay, you can see here it's better. So you can see that is a little bit quite better. So that is how you can manipulate the various the coloration of a particular video that you're working on. All depends on you. So let me change the Canon. Let me change it to Canon 5000. Okay, you can see it has even increased it. You understand? So that's how you add let me use the word coloration. Let me use the word coloration to it. You want to improve the color or the graphic quality of the video. That's how you increased it. So the next now is we've added all of this to it. Let's assume that we are now satisfied. We are now satisfied with it. We've seen transition, we've seen importing, we've seen organization. Let's assume we've equally added text and audio to it. Let's assume that we are now satisfied with our video. What are we going to do? We'll press the button Control M. It brings us to the video exporting window. Okay, so now it's asking me for the format in which I would like to export this video. And this video file, if it's requesting me for the preset I wish to export it, is it high quality? That's a 2160, which is 4K, or HD, that's a 1080p, HD high quality, or HD 720 resolution, or HD 480 pixel wide. Whichever settings I intend to export the video is what is now requesting me now. So maybe let's assume that I want a medium bitrate, or let's just stay with this high definition. However, the higher the resolution you are exporting a video with, the longer time it will take to export, because the more the more file size it will be, and the more power it will take from the processor of your computer. So that's what is there. So let's now click on the export button and let's see what happens. Okay, it's telling me that 2 minutes remaining, 1 minute, 50 seconds remaining. Okay, my computer is usually a Core i5 HP Pavilion laptop. So it may not actually take much time. Now, if it were to be maybe HP Core i7, it will take lesser time than this. Then if it's HP Core i3, it will take more time than this. So the higher your processor and the core of your computer, that's the processing power of your computer, the more it is, the less time it will take to export a particular video for you. So that's one thing you must also take note of. In video editing and anything that has to do with graphics, the higher your computer processing power, the lesser time it will take your computer to process any job or complete any job for you. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I was looking at something. Okay, let's go. Okay, we now have less than 40 seconds now. Okay, our video has finished exporting now. So let's go and play it and let's see how it looks. New folder. Okay, this is where our video is. So this is a video over here. So let me play it and let's see how it looks. So you can see Okay, so I'm just forwarding it so that you don't have to waste time. Okay, you can see the effect that we applied. Remember that the effect was only applied on one of the video. You can see the text that we included rolling, scrolling past by now. Okay, okay. So you see how interesting it is. It is now. Okay, so let me close and let's return back to our software. So that's just a beginner introduction to video editing. We did importing of our clips, organization, cutting and trimming, spliced it. That means to merge it in order of importance. Then we added transitions between one clips and the other. We added audio, we added special effects, and we did exported it. So that's it for beginner video editing. So once again, I'm Moses Obarisi. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.